It starts with an error message, then a spinning wheel, and then nothing. For millions of Australian teens, December 10th, 2025 isn't just another Tuesday. It'll be the day that the digital world, the world they grew up in, vanishes. And it won't be a glitch or a server crash, it's policy. And it will only be the beginning. Imagine waking up and finding your digital life has just been wiped. Your communities, your subscriptions, your entire online history just gone. For every Australian under the age of 16, this is going to become their shocking new reality under Australia's new controversial Digital Wellbeing Act, enforcing a nationwide ban on social media, including YouTube. So, why the sudden shutdown? The government has called this a necessary surgery to protect a generation from growing online harm. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has not minced his words on the subject either, stating, "Social media is doing harm to our children, and I want parents to know that I have their backs." And the justification is built on some alarming data. The e-Safety Commissioner, pointing to research that shows 4 in 10 Australian teens have been exposed to harmful content on YouTube. This follows a trend of studies that have linked social media use to rising stress and anxiety in teenagers. But when I looked into this report from eSafety, it was a survey of a small bunch of online users that they tested, and the harmful content that they're speaking of isn't disclosed. Therefore, harmful content is left up to interpretation. But the new law is crystal clear. No one under the age of 16 can hold an account. And any of the social media platforms that fail to enforce this, well, they'll cop a 50 million Australian dollar fine. And the responsibility isn't on the kids. It's on the tech giants to build age verification systems that actually work. But over the last few hours, the decision to include YouTube has caused a firestorm. The platform was initially given an exemption, a move that rivals TikTok and Meta called a sweetheart deal. But facing immense pressure, the Australian government has included it. And in response, Google, YouTube's parent company, is threatening a massive legal challenge, arguing that the ban infringes on the implied freedom of political communication. Now, I'm a YouTuber. My daughter sees me doing YouTube, and she wants to get into it as well. And a lot of what we do involves us creating not just a platform on YouTube, but all the other socials as well. We do short form versions of our longer form to get people engaged and come and watch them. And that's much like the case of 16-year-old Chloe from regional Queensland. She spent 3 years building a community where she's reviewed novels for teenagers across the country. She's going to be exempt because she'll be 17 by the time that this happens, but a lot of her subscribers will be gone. And Chloe's story mirrors thousands of other Australian teens. Sure, they can still watch the videos with a logged out account, but they can't comment or subscribe or be a part of the conversation anymore. For many kids, especially those in rural areas or marginalised groups, YouTube isn't just mindless entertainment. It's a lifeline, place to find community that they can't find in the offline world. And this is exactly what critics of the ban warned could happen, arguing that a blunt one-size-fits-all approach hurts the kids that need this the most. Of course, though, not every parent is seeing the downside. Many have expressed relief, noting that their kids need to spend more time in the outside world and interacting face to face. They see the ban as a much needed circuit breaker for a generation hooked on algorithm-fed content. And this is where it raises the tougher question. Does protection really require this level of control? And you can't just unplug an entire generation and expect them to sit still. This is going to create a digital game of cat and mouse. We're going to see a rise in VPN use to mask locations and peer-to-peer sharing content. The ban is designed to sever connection, and instead it's going to drive it underground into the less visible, unregulated corners of the web. And that's the great paradox. of this Digital Wellbeing Act, in an effort to shield children from harm, it may be pushing them towards spaces with even less oversight. And all while this is going on, the legal battle is heating up. Google sticking to its point that it's a video sharing platform, not social media, a distinction that is at the centre of its court challenge. The Australian government, however, is standing firm, positioning the country as a global test case. And the world is watching to see if this experiment works. This whole situation is a massive test, and it's far from over. And the biggest question of all, for all of us, is where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line between protecting young children and controlling their worlds? Let me know what you think in the comments. Said I wanted to make more political style content, so here it is. If you want to keep exploring these big questions, hit that subscribe button. In conclusion, the government wants to save Aussie kids from the algorithm and disconnect them from sources of anxiety and stress. But in unplugging them from the platforms, what else are they getting disconnected from? Their communities, their creative outlets, and their voices. Australia might be the first to build a digital wall this high, but as it goes up, you have to wonder, what platform, what country's next?